I did. I made it and I survived. Every chain, thank you, Lord. It fell off my life. Oh, I made it. He saw me through. I made it. I'm so grateful that I made it. Bible says after you've suffered a while, the God of all grace who has called you to his glory in Christ will himself restore you, confirm you, strengthen you. And after he's done all that, he'll establish you. You ought to say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, that I made it. Through every danger, toil, and snare. You could have counted me out a long time ago. But I'm so grateful that you held my hand. Oh Lord, and you helped me make it through. Who am I that you're so mindful of me, God? Sometimes I don't understand your love, but I'm so grateful for it. It's the only way I made it. I made it. Somebody ought to wave your hand if you made it. Oh, thank God. Come on, can y'all help me sing that? Thank God I made it. Thank God I made it. Just think about the things that God has brought you through. Thank God I made it. Thank God, oh, I made it. Can you help? Thank God I made it. Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Potter, oh Potter, you saw this heart from the beginning, but still you put this clay in your hand. Even though it was ugly and filthy, you called it the best kind. Yeah, you called me the best kind. So I'll sing hallelujah to the Potter who came and made me new. Hallelujah to the Potter who came and made me new. Thank you.
So put me on your wheel now and spin me around, place me in your flame now until you see through me and I'm ready to come out. And all that was broke, it won't be broken after this, no, not after this. And all that was dead is finding life again, and a true friend that so happens to be a Potter. Oh, hallelujah to the Potter who came and made me new. Hallelujah to the Potter who came and made me new. Thank you.
'Cause you take broken things and make them beautiful. Oh, you take broken things and make them whole again. Oh, you take broken things and make them beautiful. Oh, you take broken things and put them back together again. Oh, you take broken things and make them beautiful. Oh, you take broken things and make them whole again. Oh, you take broken things and make them beautiful. Oh, you take broken things and put them back together again. Oh, you take broken things and make them beautiful. Oh, you take broken things and make them whole again. Oh, you take broken things and make them beautiful. Oh, you take broken things and put them back together again. So I'll say hallelujah to the Father who gave and made me new. Hallelujah to the Father who gave and made me new. I look just like you. So come and go with me to the potter's house, and you best believe, oh, he'll make something good. Oh, he'll make something good. I know he will. Yeah, he'll make something good. Oh, he'll make something good out the dust.
I know a man who sits on the throne. He's still healing the sick. He raised the dead, 5,000 souls he fed. He's not dead, he's alive.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views
What we gonna talk about today?
are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WDDO. All of a sudden, let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda Sutton.
And hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
You know, I missed you guys.
Yeah.
Last week was like a holiday.
Yeah.
We thought we wouldn't do the holiday because
We
we thought everybody was holiday. And then I got a message from one of our listeners that was like, where were you guys?
Yeah.
I
They
was
inboxed me. They were like, what's going on? And y'all not on it. I was like, well, no, it's a holiday. I like to say Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day. So yeah.
So anyway, we want to thank Mr. Jackson, because he just be all over it. When you ain't used to having nothing, you know what I mean? Because we ain't used to having nothing. It had duct tape and everything on it. So I about don't know how to act with this new equipment. You know what I mean?
We fancy now.
I'm trying to tell you, we fancy. But my grandson was at Bonneville Academy, and they told him to write about, Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Gosh.
He wouldn't do it. Got in trouble.
This must be Canaan.
It's Cannon.
I love him.
It's Cannon. Ain't nobody but Cannon, the Cannon from bro, the little genius. And so, his mom and daddy said, well, why you do that? He said, look, Christopher Columbus did not discover America.
Right.
I am not going to, and refused. Wouldn't do it.
So what did the school do?
Well, his mom and daddy had to go up there and tell him, said that's not true.
Right.
And that, and they said, okay, well, he has to pick something. So he said he would write about Marco Polo, who was the first European to see the Pacific. And he did that.
Yeah, because, the strangest thing about Christopher Columbus, because I've gone back and forth with this with a few people, is I've always said you can't discover something that was already there.
You can.
So he didn't discover America. It was already there, and it already had people living.
And not only that,
here.
it had cities.
Yeah, like
It was civilized.
it's just-
It wasn't like he came over here and we have to talk about this thing about savages, because that right there is messed up anyway. That's really, it's like some
Don't start.
you know.
Hey, Papa, Papa.
Papa, look at him. You know, he always late. Look at him. Looking at his phone, trying to.
I love it though. I do. I love the beard. I do.
love the beard, Papa. Look what I got for you.
I know they've been talking about me.
We actually haven't. She said she missed you.
Oh, he said to put your headphones on. He don't know where they at. You know, Mr. Jackson, he by SLOW. He got on his little suit too,
He
don't he?
look nice. He look like a pawpaw for real.
You know, yeah, he's somebody's Pawpaw.
Okay. He right there. You go.
He come in there to help you. Look. He's somebody's Pawpaw.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably somebody's granddad. He looked like somebody's granddaddy today, don't he?
He do. You know, the beard makes him look more distinguished.
Yeah.
Are you gonna let it get full? Like, are you gonna let it grow all the way out?
No.
No.
Why?
Day by day, every morning I threaten to shave it.
Well, I don't think really now.
But somebody that says it looks okay, so then I don't.
Yeah, it really does look nice.
It really looks good on
I'll be
You know
messing
what?
with
No,
you,
let
but
me
it
tell
really
you.
does
Let
look
me tell
nice.
you. I've had people actually tell me it makes you look younger.
It does. You know, it's a fallacy with gray hair, because people think when you gray, you're like old. You're like you look old. Well, you take my Henry. My Henry's got a head full of gray, and you wouldn't know that he's 71. He really looks good. So the gray kind of doesn't necessarily mean that you're old.
That's something we ought to talk about one day, is how women will just easily tell a guy's age, but they hate us to tell their age.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
You know what? We should. I agree with
Yes,
you. That's a
it
good topic,
is.
but I don't know why women don't like to tell their age. I've never really understood that. I've just always kind of been told, a woman doesn't tell her age, and I've always wondered why.
And Brenda, you
Why
sat
don't
there
we?
with a straight face and said that's not true.
You know why? Because I don't care that I'm 64. You know what I'm saying? Age doesn't bother
I wasn't,
me.
but I'm
But
generally.
though,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. I know a
Because-
lot of women like that, and I don't understand where the concept comes from of not telling. Like, what is the problem with it?
Because I've heard a lot of women say to people, somebody say, "How old are you, ma'am?" And she, "Boy, don't you know you ain't got no manners? Don't you know you don't ask a woman her age?" I've heard that many times.
Well, you know, I would just say that has a lot to do with image.
Mhm.
And people, and it's some men too. So don't put them all on women. Don't want to grow old. They don't. That's why they don't want their beard to grow out.
Now, I agree with you there. That's why
why
just
they-
for men is such a hot
Yeah.
seller. But what
It's Beijing.
Beijing, yeah, that's the new deal,
But
Beijing.
Somebody need to ask him Williams about just for men. He ain't here to defend himself.
You are not gonna
You're
pick
so
on my
messy.
friend. You're not gonna pick on my friend.
Well,
I've got your back, Henry.
that he know what just for men is.
I'm not gonna allow it. Every time she starts talking that way, I'm gonna overtalk her.
Are you serious?
You are not gonna talk about the big hen.
Hen dog. Hen.
That's what I'm
It's my
saying.
Boy.
As a matter of fact, we should give him a shout out and be grateful and thankful
Yes.
that he sponsors
sponsors
us.
our show.
He does.
Yeah, and you want-
He does.
Don't ever bite the hand that feeds you.
Touche.
And you know, and I talked to Rosier, and he says our show is just doing great.
Awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
we're still like between like 9,000 and 10,000.
Okay, let's get this thing up to
That's good.
like 100,000, and then we'll be syndicated. And
Yeah, then we can make money.
yeah,
Right.
No, and then we can reach more people with our love and wisdom.
Yeah.
Don't say that, Brenda.
Is that what?
Yeah, because we're in the hood. I ain't letting them make nothing.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, so let's not go there.
I ain't lying, but
But-
Emily can attest to that because she got a business and they show one. But she got a new car. She ain't gonna get no new car for me.
Right.
Jingle, jingle. But listen,
Right.
I just want to do this just for a moment, all seriousness. The reason why I do have on this attire today is today we laid to rest a great, great servant of this community, Mr. Jimmy Mills.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Jimmy Mills. And
yes, Mr. Jimmy.
this man is truly a Renaissance man and truly a servant of the community. When you speak of somebody and you say, well, you know, they had so many tentacles, you know, they were doing so many different things. Well, it certainly holds true about him. You know, he even coached the Little League football team. And
wasn't he the orchestral director at
he was the choral director at Southwest.
Yeah.
And I would talk to him about it because I was fortunate enough to be the vocalist for the jazz group, which he headed, the GQ Jazz Ensemble. And some of the down times we would have, the glow that would come on his face when he would talk about his kids at Southwest and those choral kids, and he was talking about, I remember so vividly, like he's here now. We started talking about, he had this time where he was teaching spirituals to the kids. And not only did he teach songs, he taught the origin, the meaning of these songs. And he just became like another human being when he started talking about it. And these kids, these kids have got it, Johnny. They got it, the delivery, you know, and they know what it means now. And I'm pretty sure he's a man responsible. He had taken these kids overseas. And the delight that he had to know that he was the conduit to these kids leaving the United States of America and experience another country. Man, he was just so lit up. And then he worked with the Postal Service. And then he worked with Fort Valley State, and he was a graduate of Fort Valley State.
Wow.
Then he was, he served the United States military. You know, it was just so many tentacles to this man. And he was spoken of so glowingly today by everybody that spoke about him. And it was a very poignant thing to say, well, there were some very special people there that we consider special in this community that do good works, that there were so many people that qualified to be the person to speak about Jimmy that you just couldn't get them all, you know, and everybody spoke so eloquently and everybody spoke so truthfully. And, you know, you can know when someone's telling the truth because person after person says the same thing. They might travel a different road to get there, but the end is the same thing. This guy was a servant. This guy was helpful. This guy was, you know, a loving guy. And he was, if anybody knew Mr. Jimmy Mill, he was an exercise in self-control. I never heard him raise his voice. And he was always sharp to the T.
Oh, yeah.
He was always dressed immaculately, and he was always very kind and very soft-spoken. And I'll just share this one story that I heard today from people there. They said that the choral group, that he would ask, you know, people come, hey, I want to be in the chorus. I want to be in the choral group. And he would ask one question, can you sing? Because it didn't matter how bright your personality was, and I don't care who your parents are, if you can't sing, though, you're not going to be in this group. And that teaches people about responsibility, and it teaches them about meeting qualifications for certain acts. Because we got so many people now living in a world that they don't care whether they're qualified or not. They just know, well, you know my mama, or you know my uncle, or you went to school with my dad. He never put that in front of somebody who really deserved the spot. And the story was, he said that if he caught them chewing gum, and they're supposed to be in rehearsal, right? He would make them take the gum and put it on their nose and go through the rest of the rehearsal with the gum on their nose. And a lot of the choral members and his past members were there. Matter of fact, they served as a choir today. A lot of the choral group, about 15, 20 of them. And when they brought that up at the podium, all of them just fell out because they all had lived that particular thing. So I just wanted to make sure that, and then on a personal note, then I'll stop. On a personal note, when he allowed me to be brought into a group of such excellent musicians, I mean, we would be rehearsing, and sometimes we go to rehearsal. We'd be there 2 hours. We only did 3 songs, not because we didn't know the songs, but because after a song, they break every song down. Then they start talking about music theory and the Baroque period, because all of them were just, the musicianship was just so excellent. And it was such a great thing. And some of the experiences I've had as a result of him, we did the Zetas, what do you call it? Conclave one year.
Hello, Jamarcus.
And
Hey, Jamarcus.
ended up, and your husband actually went on this venture with us to Chicago.
I remember, yeah.
And we were doing the Zetas,
The Zetas, yeah.
Conclave. And what's the lady's name on the TV show?
Underwood.
Cheryl Underwood
Yeah.
was the president of the Zetas, and we got to meet her, and she put us up in this fancy hotel and
Right.
all that good stuff. And
That was in Chicago, wasn't it?
in Chicago. And we just, I was availed so many wonderful things. We got to open for Stephanie Mills here at the City Auditorium, open for Najee here at the City Auditorium, and just played numerous places. And I just, he was a very important person for me. He always will be. Lessons I learned from him are so important. Just was an important man. And I just could not go without making mention of this great soldier that has gone on. Somebody said today, we can see him now telling Gabriel, you can take a couple of days off. I'm here. I can blow the horn now. So it's just a beautiful homegoing today.
Yeah.
His family, he was married to his wife for 55 years. And his family, everybody spoke so glowingly of him and going through his illness and the support and him as a dad. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to witness today. So we say good night to Mr. Jimmy Mills, and we'll see you in the morning.
His sister and his niece are both clients of mine. His sister has been a long time client of mine, and her daughter, his nieces, are clients of mine. He and Jimmy, my son Jimmy, he worked with Jimmy a lot, with his horn skills and things like that. So he is everything that everybody says he is. He's definitely a great man, very soft-spoken, very low-key, very mellow, which worked really well with my son's personality because he's very low-key and very mellow. So he was a good guy, and he's definitely he will be missed here in the community.
Yeah, no doubt. And his brother, Albert Gatson, is his brother. And Albert, I was praying for him today.
I did not know they were directly related.
Yeah, they're brothers. And I
are they actually blood brothers?
Yes, same dad. And I just really send my prayers out to him because I was up close with them and a lot of their relationship, watching it in action. And so my prayers go out to him and the entire family in this time. And just be proud. He left such a great legacy.
I really appreciate you sharing. Because sometimes, we need to give our flowers, we need to let people know in the community how we feel. And it sounds like you two had a relationship with him when he could sniff, you know what I mean? When he
absolutely, man. I love that guy.
When he was knew what was going on. And I just really appreciate
Man, such a great guy, man. Such a great guy.
Yeah. And Johnny, I could just tell in your eyes, even though I like picking him all the time because he's really such a good person to pick at. I just don't know, but I can tell that it was truly sincere.
Oh yeah, I love Mr. Mills, man.
We want you to hit that share button.
Share. Please.
We need you to share. Help a brother and sister out.
Yes, please.
And somebody give that call-in number.
It's your public duty to share.
There you go. What's your call-in
My brain's
number?
not working.
My brain never works. So what's that call-in number?
478-250-1444.
You know what? That is certainly the call-in number.
It is 478-250-1444. 888-866-7444. You guys give us a call.
I just, today's show really has to do with self-care.
Yeah.
And I thought that, I said, a lot of times all of us in this room care for everybody else.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
I mean, and Johnny, you and it's not the pick on Johnny kind of day, but how often do you go and see your brother?
At least every Thursday. At least every Thursday.
And how many miles do you drive?
I don't know. You know what? I've driven it so much now I don't even pay any attention. But it doesn't matter where he is. I'm gonna go see him. Yeah, he's in Eastman, Georgia right now. He's been on some kind of journey over the last few years. I've been to Eastman. He was in Savannah for several months. He was in Swainsboro for several months. He was in Augusta for several months. It doesn't matter where he is. I'm going to go see him.
Is this your older brother?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
He's the one after me. That's my bunk bed mate.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Bruce, the greatest shortstop ever to pass through Macon, Georgia. I'm telling you. The Braves were trying to sign him when he was in high school. And if he hadn't gotten ill after our mother passed, I'm pretty sure that he would have been a major leaguer. He was that good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I brought this up simply because, for those that's been listening, y'all been following the path of me and my mom. And
yeah, you're being a good daughter. And, I think, let me say, I know that your response a couple of times when I was complimenting you, you was like, as a matter of fact, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. It's a natural thing. But I was trying to impress on you, I understand your theory, but people just don't live that. And so you ought to be commended for taking out the time of your career, of your marriage, and and it's great that you've got a supportive husband. But what you're doing is not automatic, although it ought to be in theory. But I commend you for doing what you're doing because there are so many folk that don't do it. They don't do it.
You know what? I was really shocked at the amount of people that don't do
it. They don't do it.
And I've heard some people say actually that, if mom really gets ill, they're going to put her in like a facility or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Johnny, fix your screen. There we go.
Okay. I was just kind of wondering, but you know what, Emily, I want to commend you because as a person who's been caring, you have really fought for Jimmy for a long time.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I said with that self-care, because I was like, I don't know how you did it.
Listen, I don't know either, but it's so loaded. It's difficult, but I think when you love a person, you just do it. It becomes second nature to you when you really love them and care about them. You just do it.
Yeah.
And people ask me, all the time, especially, dealing with a child with autism. And it's like, I don't know. I just did it because I loved him. I wanted the best. I wanted him to be better. I wanted, and I knew that he could be better than what they said he was going to be. I knew that, they told me he wouldn't be able to talk. I was like, no, I don't believe you. And he's going to live with you for the rest of his life. No, I don't believe you. I don't believe that. And I just kind of felt like this is not going to be the plight. Like this is not his destiny. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense. And I was never okay with the diagnosis that was given. So I just fought hard. And I was like, I don't care what they say. You're going to talk. You're going to open your mouth and talk. And eventually he did. And now you can't shut him up. Literally. And he blows a horn like nobody's business. So all of these
he's an awesome musician.
And I kind of brought up self-care because I was like, well, what I think is challenging. And is that I am having to work with my mom with and dealing with her in the situation that she's in out there look here. And I ain't throwing no shout out to him at Peak Nursing Home, whatever that place is out there on Peak Road, Pruitt or whatever. Check on your folk. Check on your people. Hey, y'all, check on your people. Call. Go out to the window. You can't visit them, but go out there and just knock on the window. You know what I'm saying? Let your people know that they're there because they need to know. But I brought up the self-care piece, because, I said, if I'm going through this, I understand that that other people are going through it too. What happens when you get an illness and somebody, and and I'm the caregiver. I had to make a huge decision, guys. I'm going to have knee surgery on November the 9th.
Okay.
And I'm very, very afraid because my mother is out there in that nursing home, or whatever you want to call it, rehab. I call it glorified nursing home. And I realized that I had to take care of Brenda because if I didn't take care of Brenda, I'm not going to be able to take care of Mom and Henry. And that's where the self-care comes in. I think sometimes you just have to pull back from taking care of everybody else and take a look at you and what you need to do for yourself. Because if you don't, I won't say nobody else will, but you won't be able to take care of anybody.
That's so true.
Yeah. I agree.
Because I kind of think about you, Johnny. When I see those pictures of him on the road, I'm like, okay, now I know Johnny done been all up all night. At Grant's Lounge, because that's where he is on Wednesday.
Wednesday and Sunday.
Wednesday and Sunday. He's he's at Grant's Lounge, and then he's gonna get up and he's gonna go see Bruce. And Bruce so happy to see him. You see them pictures of Bruce? Bruce just be grinning.
Bruce be wanting that Anderson's diner.
Bruce, man, is some kind of car. And I try to warn those, I try to put them to the side and have little meetings with people. Look, Bruce is one of the most intelligent people you're ever going to meet. He's ill with a mental illness, but he's not always on the mental illness. There are times when he's just like his normal self. And Bruce, I was telling everybody, I don't remember Bruce ever making anything but A's all through school, period. And he was, because they didn't have what they call baccalaureate programs. Is that the way you say it?
Baccalaureate.
Yeah, all that. But it was governor's honors programs when we were in school. And he used to be the only black person in the governor's honors program all throughout school. And one day he got wind of me talking about it. He said, I need to correct you. I said, what is it? He said, you keep telling everybody that I never made anything but A's all through school. I said, that is right. He said, no, you're incorrect. I said, well, what? He said, I made an A- one time. And I know he's telling the truth because the pressure would come on me like, boy, you know better. Look at Bruce. You're just as intelligent, but, I was trying to play ball and all that stuff. So.
Right. And running behind girls. But
see how they pick on me?
Johnny, what do you do for self-care?
You know what?
I got him on the spot.
So now
he's not doing it.
I'm supposed to be honest.
That's right. You're supposed to be honest. We want to know the truth.
Always.
And look, and don't be pondering too long.
I'm doing.
He ain't doing good. He lied.
I'm doing more than I used to do.
Okay.
I'm not, certainly, I don't get anywhere near 8 hours sleep, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to do is become acclimated to a regimen of taking vitamins. I never have taken them. So when I dealt with the COVID thing, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this elderberry and the vitamin C and the vitamin B and this stuff. And so since I've gotten better, I find myself not taking them again. And then people are reminding me, take your vitamins just because you're 61 now, dude. You know what I mean? You're not 20 anymore. But I keep telling them that 61 is the new 38 for me.
See, wait. Wait a minute.
Sips tea.
Wait, let me see. Did he not just talk about some people in age?
No, I mean physically. I got a glove in my car right now. I was just playing ball with the young boys the other day. I still got it. I'm telling you, I still got it.
You ain't got it.
I promise you.
You don't have it.
No, I still got it.
Brenda said you don't have it.
I know, like with passion.
No, you don't, because I'm 64.
Brenda,
I am 64. I may not look 64. My knees.
But what's your mate name?
Sutton.
You are a 64 Sutton. I'm a 61 Holingshed. Two different models. I'm trying to tell you, two different type build cars. This motor runs here. I'm telling you.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Don't y'all let who is this? Who is this talking?
You know what?
Frank, yes, ma'am. Tell him because you.
Hey, Sheila.
You know what though? See, your problem is, and we're talking about.
I'm trying deflection now.
No, you ain't gonna deflect this. You old, okay? And then the self-care, he can't even self-care because he want to be young. When your body,
that could be.
I did not say I want to be young.
He said you're out being physical, so that's
play
part
ball.
of self-care.
But he doesn't take vitamins the way that he should.
I do take them. I just said I did.
He said he stopped taking them.
No, but I started.
You started back.
Yeah, I've been taking them,
No.
and then, here's my philosophy. I watch the young people, and young people are not eating Bran Flakes. They're eating Captain Crunch and Fruit Loops, and I eat the same cereal they eat. So I said I'm gonna stop eating all those old people cereals. I'm gonna eat the same stuff that young. I don't want grape juice. I want grape drink. I'm like the young'uns.
All right.
These are the
worms.
See how they pick on me? See how they pick on me?
But you know what? I would just say for me in self-care, what I do, seriously though, is I get up early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I pray, and I do meditation.
That's super important.
So that's what I do. I pray, do meditation, and I write too,
Mm-hmm.
because that's really, really important. And I learned that I have to do that for me, because if I don't do that for me, then I feel like I'm overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got so much stuff that's
Mm-hmm.
going on. I mean, it's just so much stuff.
So you say you get out and run?
No, I told you I got a bad knee. I ain't like you. I don't fool myself.
Don't you dare laugh, Emma.
Go home and have to get him some Bengay and rub it all on his knees and stuff like that. Taking pain pills. And then I've seen him walk in here. What's wrong with you? I thought his feet were hurt. I got a bad back.
Hey, she coming for you, ain't she?
Yeah, I you know what? I'm going live on my Facebook page right now to show you all. Watch this. Show you how beautiful these two ladies are that I'm sitting in here.
You messing up our numbers.
That I'm sitting in
Look
here
at
today.
he messing up our numbers.
The reason why I'm going live is to inform these people to go to 107.9 FM and to go to 980 AM and also go to the WDDO The Glory page on Facebook and watch us and listen.
But you could do that.
And that was my purpose. I'm just going to be on just for a moment, but I just wanted them to see how beautiful these two ladies.
Johnny is trying to deflect because he is old. I have seen him coming up with them cowboy boots. It's either them cowboy boots, those cowboy boots are too tight to squeeze them corns. That'll make you walk funny. That's one.
He said that'll make you walk.
Don't make me. Hey, I just had my feet done. I ain't got no cones on my foot.
Cones.
I got commercial feet.
You got ingrown toenail feet.
I don't. I got commercial feet.
Yeah.
Well, what I do for self-care so we can get off Johnny's feet, because I do not want him to take the boots off.
Emily to the rescue.
I work out 4 days a week. What was that? Okay. I work out 4 days a week, which is hard because I get up at the crack of dawn. And I said that once Jimmy graduated from high school, that I would never get up before 6 o'clock in the morning ever again.
But you still do, don't you?
You know what? Your body is just trained. When you get used to that, it's like, so now, like clockwork is around, 6:30, 7 every morning.
So you're sleeping in now.
So, right. Well, my sleeping
6:30.
in. Right. So, but I do that. I do work out. And one of the things that I do like is I meditate, and it just allows me to calm my mind, calm my spirit, kind of refocus, recharge. And I didn't used to, as I was younger, I'm just 40. But I know that sounds young to y'all, but when I was younger,
Did you notice she said, "I'm just 40"?
I know how it sounds.
And
you
look
guys.
right at the both of us.
I know how it sounds to
I'm
y'all.
just
let me finish.
40.
So I'm gonna talk to the audience. See, they in their feelings.
Mhm.
That's the old folk getting their feelings. But
Another shot.
anyway,
Damn.
anyway, when I was in my 20s, I used to could survive off of 4 hours of sleep and just get up. But now, like literally, if I don't get at least 7 hours of sleep, I'm grumpy, I'm irritable. I have a headache most times if I don't get, at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And this just started happening maybe about a year or so ago. And I was like, I don't know if this is because I'm getting a little bit older, but I didn't used to be this way. I could, just function off of 4 or 5 hours and just go.
I know.
Shit, they hating. They hating.
Throwing shade. It's like,
They hating.
you ought to hope that you get to be 61 days.
I do. I hope I live a very long,
64
healthy, and
or
prosperous
61,
life.
like that.
I hope that my hair is just as beautiful as yours is, with all the gray and the salt and pepper. I hope that I want to keep living. I do.
If Brenda and I look sliced up, if you see us on the street after the show and we're bleeding, it's because Emily has cut us so.
Cut us so bad.
Oh my God!
Don't listen to it. You know what? This is real talk. My mom can actually attest to this. I have always admired and respected and loved my elders. She can tell you when I was a little kid, I used to listen to what I'm saying.
But she's looking right at us every time she says.
Love to go and sit at the feet of like my grandmothers, the elders in my church. I enjoyed it. Like I really loved it. You know what? Y'all do not ignore John. Can we mute Johnny's camera? Because see what we ain't gonna do is, but I did. I loved it. I love to talk to them. I love to listen to them. He did. I mean, it was wonderful. I truly love my elders. Thank
you so much.
I do.
And by the way,
this is real talk.
I really thank you for the
love. And I love you too.
Thank you.
I really do. Being the elder that I am,
yes,
I received that.
Thank you.
I'm not like Johnny. I'm not like Johnny who pretended they're not an elder.
Right.
I'm 61. I qualify for AARP.
But you qualified for that when you was 55.
Ooh,
so don't act like you just started. That's something you've been around with that. But see, this he says, I don't really mind, like telling my age, but 61 is the new 30 what?
38.
No, I'm just saying. My body is still of that of a 38-year-old.
I call him Henry. Because
my body is still of that of a 25-year-old.
You know what? Your body lying to you.
No, it's not.
It's lying. It was lying when I saw you limping the other day coming in here. What's wrong with you? Remember that, Emily?
I do. See, I'm not gonna be no parts of that because see, I wouldn't even go put you out there like that, Johnny.
I was not limping.
Yes, you were too, because you had failed.
No, I didn't.
You didn't fall. Why was your back hurting? I don't want to know. That's all right.
I know.
You don't remember when your back was hurting? You coming in here talking about how bad your back was hurt? You don't remember that? You did fall, Jenny. You got dementia or something like that. That's that old time stuff.
Actually, didn't you fail the other day?
Yeah, she's always falling.
Oh, you wasn't in here when she fell out the shit. I have never seen a person in a chair fall out of a chair while they were sitting in it.
When we were over there,
out of the chair
across the street. Yeah, she did.
And we were all like, how?
It was in slow motion too.
Right, and it was like you just couldn't. She felt like this.
You ever seen that commercial when the juice is gets knocked over on the counter and the juice is going toward the paper or something, and it goes in slow motion. No, it was like that.
But you want to know something? Some really good self-care though.
Like that lady in that store.
Hey Johnny, you want to know some serious good self-care though?
What? Tell me.
Laughing and comedy.
Oh well, see, I should be in good health.
I mean, really, no joke though, because when you can laugh. And, even though we were just kind of talking about, they said, well, what does that have to do? They're like telling jokes and stuff. There is nothing like a good laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
I mean, like a real
laughing is good medicine.
Miss Sarita Mathis wants a whoop whoop.
You know, that's Sandra. You
That's
can't
Sandra
even read.
Mathis.
You can't even read.
Oh, so you telling on yourself about some Sarita Mathis?
Here,
Oh, I couldn't because
here my
this
glasses.
light was blinding my eye.
No, I ain't here. Here my
Yeah, I took
glasses.
mine off too.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sandra, the
but-
light was.
That's Emily's
I
mom.
couldn't see.
That's Emily's mom.
I know, but I couldn't see.
But you
And
do
Sheila
need to put the
Ann
light
Worthy,
back on.
Sheila Ann Worthy is there as well.
Hey Sheila, how you doing, baby?
I done spoke to all of them. Y'all was arguing amongst yourself a while ago.
Here, you want to wear my pink
Y'all,
glasses?
y'all give us a call at 478-250-1444. Somebody needs, because Brenda and Emily are taking turns plummeting me.
We just want to
That's
know what
so
you do
not
for
true.
self-care. You know, Sheila, what do
Yeah.
you do for self-care? What do you do to relax and to chill? We know that's really important to you. So give us a call, somebody.
And you know what I do? Another thing that I do for self-care, and this is super important. I cut off my social media. Well, I turn my phone off for a certain point in the evening. I just turn it off. Or in the middle of the day, I'll just be like, for the next 6 hours or 5 hours, I'm just not going to get on Facebook. I'm not going to touch my phone. I may binge watch something on Netflix or Hulu or whatever the case may be. And I have realized that for me, just taking that time, those few hours to just stop and block out the world, that is self-care. Because sometimes, especially doing what I do, it gets overwhelming because you have people coming at you from every angle. They get upset if you take too long to respond back. They get mad if you don't give them the answer that they want. If the soap that they want is out of sight. And it's constant all day long. So I have to just stop, cut it off, and say, I'm going to do this by myself. And even my mom, she'll call, be like, hey, you want to come over? You want to watch a movie? I'm like, you know what? No. I'm laying across my bed and I need this time to just woo-saw. I need this time.
If you've been a listener, you know, I ask some off-the-wall questions from time to time. And here comes one.
Here we go.
The pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And soap.
Mm-hmm.
People, did it seem you sold more soap during the pandemic? Did people bathe this much?
Actually, I did. Honestly.
Did they bathe more during the pandemic because they were saying keep your body clean, wash your hands for 20 seconds, and so did they bathe more and did they buy more soap?
They did.
See?
Well, you know what? That's a good question. I just want to know how that relate to self-care. I just kind of want to
bathing.
Cleanliness.
Oh. Yeah, well, you know what though, Emma, they probably took a lot more baths and stuff.
That's what my point was.
You know,
so she really, her pockets got fat during the pandemic.
I don't know about
Can you loan me a few dollars?
Pop, you got it all, Pop. No, you got retirement, 401k, Social Security. Come on, Pop. Let me get $20.
Because you only like 4 more years. No, you can collect now. So
yeah, go and get SS.
Loan me $20.
Seriously, when I was a
see that Nike
young man,
he got money, he can afford Nike.
And I used to work for this insurance company, and I got hurt, and they offered me like disability to pay me for the rest of my life, but I couldn't work nowhere. They said is the way they said it, and I refused it because I was like, man, I ain't but 20 something. I ain't going. And then sometimes I look back and go, dang, man, because cost of living would have kept the check going up. But anyway, but I'm just thankful that I'm able and to do things. But yeah, self-care is important. Now, here's another twisted angle. Because people don't, I think, like what I notice is when I ride around and I'm in different neighborhoods, not just here in Macon, when I travel around the country sometimes. And if I go to one side of town as opposed to another side of town, like certain neighborhoods, people in the neighborhood are walking through their neighborhoods quite a bit. You know, they got their little monitor things with them and they're walking around the neighborhood. But generally these are 2-car garage homes or 3-car garage homes. I'm not being light about it. I noticed certain neighborhoods, people exercising, it's like a way of life in their neighborhoods. And so do you think that a lot of people don't exercise in the redistricted neighborhoods because there's so much blight, and I don't want to walk by and be thinking
You know
somebody
what, though?
jump out the house.
I know you keep talking about the black, and I know where you're trying to go with it because he's just trying to be slick and sly. He's just trying to say that they got all the black, I can't even say it, in the black neighborhood.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you was. You just
I
trying to
was
be slick. You're
not.
trying to be slick. The bottom line is when a person want to exercise, they're exercising the house on their floor. Okay.
Mhm.
So it ain't got nothing to do with, you trying to take and throw shade and say,
Have you ever done planks?
Yeah,
I have.
I've done planks. I do
every
them in the
day-
house.
That is a hard exercise.
But let me just say this as far as
and do a plank on a balancing ball.
But the thing about it is if you are about self-care, taking care of yourself, because we were talking about that is just, see, it's important because to me, you'll lose your mind.
Come back to the mic.
You'll lose your mind if you don't take care of yourself.
Mhm.
When you're going through the kind of things that you're going through, we can make cracks and stuff about you in that. But,
Oh yeah.
But I'm just telling you, if to our listeners, we want to encourage you. Those are just some of the things we do. We pray, we meditate, exercise.
But you know what? You're right. But I have to say this because it has to be said. We have taken self-care to a whole nother level. Like some of you use self-care just to be, how can I put this nicely so we don't get fined? Some of you use self-care to justify the nonsense that you do. If that's the nicest way I can think of putting it. Self-care does not mean neglecting your responsibility. Self-care does not mean I'm going to drop the kids off at mom's house and leave them there all night long because I needed
and all weekend. All weekend. And
self-care doesn't mean I'm going to go buy myself this new bag or this new pair of shoes because I deserve it and then not pay your light bill and ask mom or auntie or baby daddy for light bill money. We have to, and it's happening so much. It's almost cliche now to say self-care because it's like, really, no, it's the difference between real self-care and you just being selfish. There's a big difference.
You know what? I'm really glad you brought that up because I have seen it. I need to spend some time to myself. And I'm gonna drop the children. Now it don't happen to me because I ain't that kind of grandma. But I don't like little children like that. I'm telling you, I love my grandchildren and stuff like that. But really, I don't like. Really.
You've said that many times before.
You know why? Because it's the truth.
But honesty is a great thing.
Some people pretend like, they just love to have a little. My friend Linda Walker, if she's listening, Linda love her grandchildren. She had the little grandchildren with her all the time. I ain't like Linda. I don't like that little girl of mine to get me up 7:30 in the morning. I got to get up and cook grits and stuff. I'd be glad for her to go home. I'd be like, and then Henry be laughing at me.
Believe me, Emily and I are trying.
We got a phone call?
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Miss Brenda and Miss Emily and Mr. Johnny?
Hello there.
You're doing wonderful.
Who are we talking to?
Who are we talking
to? Miss Emily's mom, Miss Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey.
What do you do for self-care?
Your new name is Sarita, by the way.
Oh, Lord, help us. Listen, for self-care, there are a number of things that people can do. With the pandemic going on, everybody's living in total fear. Not everybody, a lot of people.
We get it.
People are living in fear. And what you have to understand is that in order to care for yourself better, you got to change your state of thinking, your way of thinking. Fear and love cannot reside in the same space. So one of the cures, one of the most beautiful ways to take care of yourself is lose the fear. Then love has to come in automatically and it starts to nurture the body. Second thing is get a lot of sun. The sun now has changed on the planet. When we moved into 2021, the energy from the sun is a lot different. It's a lot more nurturing. So walk in the sun a lot and take your feet off and ground. That's self-caring. Then the third thing, and I'm gonna let you guys go, is I got up this morning and I went and fed I guess about 50 people from the Elaine Lucas Senior Center. Doing that brings a beautiful sense of peace to the self, and it also helps other people, and sharing your love and energy with others. That raises their vibration, and it's all about the vibrational frequency right now. Love has frequency, fear has frequency. When you give, that is self-care, because you can't help but feel good when you do that.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to drop those 3 little things off, and then I'm going to go ahead on and hang up. But that's what I do.
That was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. And you know, she was talking about the sun. The sun gives, I think you get D3 from the sun.
Yeah.
And I've actually had to physically take D3 during the time of COVID because I wasn't getting enough.
Oh, I take D3 every day. Because
I don't
5,000-6,000 I use every day, but I like the sun.
So y'all just taking a little sun and dropping it off in your body.
Yeah, I
pretty much
little sunshine.
Right, a little sunshine.
Makes you smile.
Yeah.
Regardless of what, I know that it may sound crazy, but I just do believe that some of the things that that we're talking about, the energies and things, it's just really off when you're like giving it. When you're just like walking in, she said walking in fear. But I would say my thing is not necessarily walking in fear. It's that I'm tired. I don't know about you. I mean, I just want to sometimes do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to do. I just want to kick my shoes off and just watch program on TV.
I tell my mom was just on the phone. I tell her that all the time. Like, I just, it ain't personal. I love you and I like to spend time, but sometimes I just don't want to do nothing. I don't want to be in the presence of nobody. I just want to lay here and do nothing.
But for me now, seemingly, and I've got to investigate this a little bit more about myself, but it seems like now I get more rejuvenated by going to do something that I want to do, as opposed to the normal laying in the bed or sitting on the sofa resting, if that makes any sense. Like for me to just say, okay, I'm just going to binge watch the television, and I lay there for 4 or 5 hours to watch a game or something like that. I find myself feeling more rested and rejuvenated if I was just doing something that I just simply wanted to do without, like you say, without answering the phone for anybody. If it's go to the carnival or the fair, or something like that, I seem to leave that more energized than I would if I was laying in the bed. If it makes any sense to you.
Yeah, doing what that's mental health care. Because if you're doing something that you actually really want to do, you don't look at it, or it doesn't come from a place of, I gotta do this again. Like when you're doing something you really want to do and you're not answering your phone,
not have to do, but just want to do.
Something you want to do. Yeah, I completely understand that. And you're not tired when you're doing it, because it's like, I want to be here. I want to be doing this. I don't have no responsibilities right now. I'm not answering my phone. Like, I want to be here. I want to do this. And I found, I get what you're saying, because I've every now and then when I go out and it's like, everything is straight at home. I don't have to answer my phone or anything like that. And you just be like, oh man, I'm excited. And it's like, normally you would be at home in bed, but you're okay with being up and being out, because it's where you really want to be, and when you're somewhere you don't want to be, you just kind of be like, man, I'm ready to go.
And that's why it's important for you to do something that you love.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I love this, and I love, I look forward to.
We know you love to talk, honey.
So y'all love that.
See how quickly she turned on you.
I just said she loves to talk. Hence, all of a sudden.
So I'm making notes over here.
I
She done called you old.
Just say it again.
You know
She
what?
done called you old.
She didn't call me old. What else she did?
She challenged your mental capacity.
I did no such thing.
Yes, she did.
What else she said?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, what else I say?
I got dementia. I forgot the last.
You got that COVID fog. Oh, we got a phone call.
Oh, Lord.
Hello, caller.
Hello, this is Sheila.
Hey, Sheila. How you doing?
Fine, you?
Pretty
Doing
good.
wonderful.
Oh, these ladies just love you, Sheila.
Sheila, what
Yeah,
you do for self-care?
I'm learning to do more for myself than others.
What do you mean?
I've been doing. And
What do you mean by that?
Instead of taking time to do this and do that for somebody else every 5 minutes, calling, wanting your help to do this, do that. I'm learning to do things that I want to do for myself for a change. Take time for me.
Mm-hmm.
Good for
Because
you.
usually I'm doing something for everybody else instead of me. So now this pandemic gives me a time to be at home alone and have some peace for myself.
I hear that.
I always running around doing stuff for other people. I don't mind doing things for other people, but I'm enjoying not doing it at times now.
That's real powerful because people will, and typically, and I'm not saying it's yours, but typically it's family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and then you hate to say no to family.
Because my family is in Missouri, and I've been doing all the work here that they should be doing here.
You started something.
Say it again.
Brenda started. She said, I'm doing all the work they should be doing.
Yeah.
You started something.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for yourself, Sheila? Are you praying? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm praying. I'm doing jigsaw puzzles.
That's
I
good.
watch westerns a lot. When I watch westerns and those old shows that used to come on, it puts me in another space. It puts me in another space, and I feel good about myself. And it's sort of like a retrospect. It puts you back like childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It takes you back to simpler
I thought
times.
about it like that. That's
Yeah,
It's
simpler
nostalgic.
times. It puts me in a better mood. Yeah. That's what I do.
Oh, you know what, Sheila, we got about 5 more minutes to be on air, and I just appreciate you calling. We're gonna see you next week.
Thank you, Miss Sheila.
We love you.
I love you too.
And so, that's nostalgia. Like, going back to your childhood and remembering and, watching shows, and that can put you like in a really, really good mood. It's like, oh gosh, I remember what I was doing at this particular time. And, so that's a form of self-care.
Okay, so everybody kind of knows my brain is not wrapped too tight. So here we go. Just 2 days ago, I was watching Rawhide. Anybody remember Rawhide? Had Clint Eastwood, was a young guy, was a cowboy in there. Do you know that there was this snake oil salesman on the show, and they were riding around trying to find him, and the dude said, he just came by here. He sold me this oil, and it cures everything. And do you know one of the things that the man said on this 1940, 50 Western? He said, it cures herpes. And I was like, what?
You know what, Johnny? You just had to say you're gonna get us in trouble.
Not saying that.
No, yeah.
But I'm saying it was just amazing how if you go back and start watching some of these old shows and you start paying attention to the subject matter, you'll be astounded at some of the stuff they said.
I just want to change gears because I brought you a gift today.
It's a blessed day in the land of Sutton.
Yes.
Sutton-Williams. Williams.
I have for you.
That's it. Sing it, girl.
Jesus,
I'm gonna be able to find out if I got children.
Johnny, here is your DNA kit.
I can find out if somebody's my child with that.
No, I'm going to find out.
You mean I'm not gonna be on the Mars show?
You may be.
How many more minutes we got?
Fine, but
this is gonna go left real quick.
I'm just being silly.
But I'm gonna.
I'm so appreciative right now.
But now, let
Brenda
me just.
Sutton-Williams has brought me an ancestry DNA kit. And
I'm going to see who your peoples are.
and find out where I come from.
I am.
Beyond what I've been told.
Correct.
Right.
And
do it correctly, because my aunt did do her kit. And they tried, I think 8 or 9 times to extract her DNA, and they had to send her another kit to do it over again because she didn't follow the instruction and put enough spit in the vial. So make sure you do that correctly, Johnny.
So what I got to do is
read the instructions.
Activate your kit.
No, don't you activate it. Don't you do it. I just need, what I need for you to do is to put the saliva in the little tube, and I'll do the rest. I'm going to do the rest for you. I'll mail it and send it off for you. Because I'll need to be able to access it and to go through your DNA. And, you know, I have a subscription that I pay for, and it's just really better for that.
Like, this is a life-changing moment.
Ask Emily about it. She got a sister.
I'm people out there listening. I'm not kidding right now. I am so very interested to find out what the results will be.
Now, if you want to, Now, if you want, I can get you another kit, and you can have your supposedly baby put their saliva in it, and then we'll see who her daddy is if it's not you.
Yes,
John ain't got no babies.
That's why we need to find out.
Who your daddy? Who your daddy?
With that being said, on next week's show,
it's like, who's your daddy?
You couldn't wait to say that.
I couldn't, because I think.
And you said it so well.
And you're gonna be like, who's your granddad?
Yeah.
We'd like to thank Henry E. Williams for sponsoring our show. Attorney Henry E. Williams
going beyond Sandersville.
For sponsoring our show.
Hey, brother, hope everything is well, man. We appreciate you so much for just being who you are.
He's just a good guy. And I just appreciate all these. I just appreciate y'all. I have so much fun. I look forward to it.
Tell somebody else to tune in next week. And if you get hungry, go on out to Granny's Country Kitchen on Harley Bridge Road and get you some good food. Tuesday through Sunday.
She got collard greens.
Collard greens, yeah. Yams, homemade potato pies, homemade.
You've been listening to All of a Sudden. Join them every Monday evening.
45 Harley Bridge Road.
7 with Brenda Sutton. Every Monday. We'll see
you. Got to come out there and eat.
Expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.